Here's a clip of the new indigenous Amazonian Pachamama rite of the Roman Catholic Church. And this here's Pope Leo initiating the ritual here. He's reaching down. This is the Sacred Heart worship right here, the Roman Catholic Church. Here's a video of the Vatican. You can see kind of the whole panorama in there in St. Peter's Cathedral. This is the traditional Hindi Amazonian rite Mass. Hades undead $20. The year is 2030. Catholics are beginning their pilgrimage to Mecca, which is now located in Antarctica, where they are going in circles around large blocks of ice because Pope Francisca, the successor to Pope Leo, is the first queer black Muslim pope who has blessed the ice of Antarctica. I like this. I like where you're going. That's Vatican III right there. By the way, so I have to mention this because my comment the other day got a lot of views. You never know what's going to get views. It's so weird. Like the things you think are not going to get any views get all these views, and then these other ones get nothing. But so I mentioned time for orthodoxy. That's all it said on Pope Leo blessing the block of ice at the Vatican climate change event. Now, apparently, we still have a lot of dum-dums who don't know that this is a scam and it's connected to Malthusianism and it's connected to the idea of the First Global Revolution and the Club of Rome. I'm not calling Father Honeycutt a dum-dum. I'm talking about the Roman Catholics in the chat that were defending it. I responded to Father Honeycutt by pointing out, here's why I said this about this idea of climate change. So a lot of people still don't understand that this is a fraud. It's connected to the older model of back in the 70s and 80s. It was 60s and 70s was acid rain. Then it became the hole in the ozone layer. Then it became global warming, and then it got rebranded to climate change. And I've lived through the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s versions of this. So we have not been cooked by the quote hole in the ozone layer, even though Tom Coon was telling me back in the 1980s and 90s that the hole in the ozone layer was going to kill us all by now. So it's an ongoing Malthusian fraud. They even said at one point it would be a new ice age, right? You remember Paul Ehrlich, Leonard Nimoy. They did videos, they did talks back in the 70s and 80s talking about how we're going to enter into a new ice age. We're all going to be underwater. It's a giant scam. And I've been watching it for decades. So if you go back to the Club of Rome, many decades ago, they produced this book called The First Global Revolution, a report by the Council of the Club of Rome. This is a very important European Malthusian think tank. Maurice Strong was one of the key members of this think tank, a mega Rockefeller Foundation Malthusian. And here's the book right here. It says, the common enemy of humanity is mankind. In searching for a new enemy. Now notice they're even admitting in this that they just kind of looked for a PR created thing. In searching for a new enemy to unite humanity. It's telling you it's a scam. We came up with an idea. So they didn't discover this in the science. They came up with an idea, a psychological warfare PR idea. Pollution, global warming, water shortages, and famine would fit the bill to prove that man is the enemy. That's Malthusianism. Now, people don't even know what Malthusianism is. What's Malthusianism? What is that? I mean, are y'all just so lazy you can't look up a freaking word? Yes, the answer is yes. They are that lazy. Now, it gets even better because not only did we get this excellent bunch of nonsense from Leo, blessing the ice cubes, blessing a time for Vanilla Ice to make a comeback. We got our favorite Illuminate confirm, the Illuminate confirm, the ice cube. We got the ice war. This is the ice war. Peter Parker.
You have to communicate the right way. When we started our mom.
Actually, I'm making jokes, but Arnold is actually in this clip telling you a big point. This is actually a huge deal. Eyes to see you. This is actually how all the propaganda works. And Arnold actually tells everybody this in this clip. It's kind of surprising, actually. I guess they don't care anymore. It's out in the open. What Arnold's basically just going to say, We could never convince people of climate change until we made a pull the heartstrings video of a child in a gas mask who couldn't breathe. That's what convinced everybody. So nothing to do with logic, science, facts, reasoning, literally just PR and propaganda. Remember Dusty Boy? Syrian Dusty Boy?
Movement in California when I became governor, people were not behind us. I said to myself, why is that? We're talking about climate change. 20% of the people said, yeah, this is kind of dangerous.
Get to the climate! Get to the climate!
More than 50%, right, to get anything done. So we talked then about the rising sea level. Nothing, the needle didn't move. We talked about the glaciers melting, the ice is melting, the polar bear is in danger. No matter
He's
what
listing
we
all
said,
the cons.
it didn't move the needle.
Look at all the Cardinals there listening to this bullshit.
Nothing happened. But then the American Lung Association sent us a television commercial.
Come on now, don't do this.
Little commercial that showed a kid, a little tiny kid, trying to inhale almost was impossible, and then this child faded. We don't know what happened. Did it die? Did it pass out? Or whatever. That little spot we put right away on television. And all of a sudden, everyone got interested, and we had...
By the way, this has a curious parallel with Total Recall, right? Cohagen! Fuck you, Cohagen! Give the people the air! Give the people the air!
62% of the people behind us
62% of the people!
Laws, and that's how we were able to succeed to pass all of those environmental laws.
With a bunch of the propaganda, the Peter Parker! So, basically, you just make heartstring propaganda and dum-dums fall for it because it bypasses their logical reasoning faculties and tugs on their heartstrings, and this is how you mind control people. Now, I didn't expect Tom Woods to reply to me. I don't think Tom Woods has ever replied to me. Not that I'm concerned about it. I don't have any problem with Tom Woods on any personal level. I met him many years ago at a Latin Mass chapel. I visited the chapel where, I don't know if he attends still, but I was there with a friend, and I looked over, and there was Tom Woods at the Latin Mass many, many, many years ago. This is a long time ago. So, I've listened to Tom Woods for many, many years. I read his book on the housing collapse. I thought that was a good insight. He helped explain the principles behind the housing collapse, which I didn't really understand. It was a helpful economic book many years ago. However, Tom Woods, as you guys know, is still Roman Catholic, still a trad cat. I don't understand what keeps people trad cats, but this was an interesting reply to my comment about, to me, it seems like this should be obvious. I'm not trying to be rude to Tom Woods, but I mean, I've been saying for many, many years, the papacy is subjected to and takes orders from international organizations, international finance, globalist institutions, etc. And yes, of course, Bartholomew is just as bad. And Tom Woods replied, why would the papacy need to, quote, take orders when there are already obviously an ideological alignment? And I said, well, the same reason why the Rothschilds centuries ago became the official papal bankers. The Rothschilds gave many loans to the Holy See over the last few centuries. The same reason why the Vatican Bank was bailed out and bought out in Gladio. That's covered in an entire chapter in the Paul Williams book. Underneath this, of course, people were challenging, oh, where did the Vatican ever get bought out? The Vatican Bank was never bought out. The funny thing was that somebody asked Grok to verify all of my claims, and Grok admitted them all except for the Vatican Bank buyout by the Rockefellers, which is in the Paul Williams book, by the way. So that was the funny part was that Grok actually confirmed all these. That the CIA was involved in the papal conclaves, and Kissinger regularly met with Paul VI throughout the Cold War, and that there is PDF blackmail of the Vatican, which even Benedict XVI hinted at before he, quote, stepped down. So really nothing that I mentioned was controversial. And I kind of agree that, yeah, probably Tom Woods is right in the sense that it's not like they have to twist Leo's arms too hard to do what they want, because he is in ideological alignment, as was Francis. But what Tom Woods and all the trads miss is that they're in ideological alignment because Vatican II is in ideological alignment with the globalists and the international financial interests, Tom. That's the point. And we know that from Gaudium et Spes, which I just lectured through multiple times last week. We did 2 different videos referencing and citing Gaudium et Spes. In fact, other people were pointing out things I missed, like chain migration promoted in Gaudium et Spes. I didn't even realize that was in there. Shout out to the people in the super chats who noticed it. And if you don't know that, go watch my video that Marxism, socialism is the teaching of Vatican II's Gaudium et Spes document. Of course, you tell that to a tradcat. It doesn't matter. You hand wave it and say, it doesn't apply to me. I don't have to follow it. It's an ecumenical freaking council confirmed by the papacy. All the documents are for the entire church, and all the documents deal with faith and morals. There's no Roman Catholic church in the world that you go to when you're catechized where they allow you or tell you don't have to believe Vatican II. They all tell you have to believe Vatican II. So they just come up with these myths. They just create tradcat myths that you don't have to follow or believe Vatican II, or, oh, this document isn't infallible. It's just literally just made up. They just ad hoc make it up on the spot. Oh, I don't have to follow this one. It doesn't count. Where do you get the authority to decide which documents approved by Rome for the entire church don't count? It's utterly ridiculous. They're as bad as or worse than Protestants. And yes, the Holy See has received and taken many sizable loans from the Rothschilds. And there's an entire Wikipedia entry on it. Why are you citing Wikipedia? Just because it's not controversial. It's the only reason I'm citing Wikipedia. There's one more point. The other point I wanted to get to was the people are up in arms today and sort of shocked that this obviously not heterosexual woman has been elected the arch layman of Canterbury, and they can't believe that a layman is a woman is the arch layman of Canterbury. But are they not aware that a woman has been the head of their church for several decades? Did you not know that the official head of the church was the Queen of England? So you already had a woman as the head of the organization who's even higher than the Archbishop of Canterbury. So it's like, duh. You didn't even know this? And by the way, did you not know that the two or three back was a Druid? Yes, the Archbishop of Canterbury was a Druid. And that is still in the BBC. Archbishop of Canterbury becomes a Druid. Now, if this doesn't show you that this is an absolute clown church, nothing will. But I mean, the world of Christianity is just, sometimes we have to say, I can understand why people are atheists. I'm not atheist. I don't mean that the logic itself. I'm talking about the absurdity and the clown world of Christianity out there is so preposterous and so ridiculous, so cartoonish. Whether it's megachurches, whether it's the papacy, or whether it's this. How, in anyone's mind, could you be a Druid and be a Christian archbishop? It's so preposterous that, yeah, why not? Right? It's like the more preposterous, the more it makes sense. Yes, absolutely. Bathed in trad. Well, I guess Druids are ancient. Everything ancient is bathed in trad. Why not? Well, they did human sacrifice. Well, so what? Let's just have the Amazonian rite. Remember Pachamama? Francis was going to, I don't know, did he create an Amazon indigenous liturgy? Well, let's just have the Thuggee rite. Molaram. The Pope will be Molaram, and the Roman Catholics will be, oh, no, it's the bathed trad Thuggee rite liturgy. And because it's ancient Hindi, it's actually bathed in trad. Yeah, it's human sacrifice, but it's bathed in trad. It's old, though. And like when you chant like Mola Ram, it sounds pretty cool when you chant like that. Kalima Shakti De. Kali Ma protects us. We are her children. Indy. Oh, Indy. The Rothschild protects us. We are their children. What's up, John?
Oh, could I say one thing about Ehrlich, going back to global revolution, first global revolution, is if you read Population Bomb, which came out in 1968, there is a line in there where he's talking about putting sterilants in the water.
Yeah.
And then he makes it like it's a joke, like it's funny to him in the book. That's the attitude that he has in the book. It's like, well, since people are not, since they're having so many kids and they're just not listening to us about the coming climate catastrophes and the population bomb, we should just put sterilants in the water. And same thing with John P. Holtren and Eco-Science, which was another one where it was like, if the premise of that was the reason climate change is happening is because there's too many people on the planet.
Yeah. Also, that's actually in quite a few of the books. It's in Ghost in the Machine by Arthur Kessler. He says at the end the same thing. We have to put drugs in the water to sterilize and pacify the public. Jan Bayer, no, I'm not going to read all of that because that's just silly stuff. If you want to go be in some schismatic group, then that's your decision, man. I'm not going to indulge all of the claims and accusations and silly gossip about some monastery had corrupt people at one time. Like, what is that going to prove? Okay, so there's corrupt monks. So there's a gay monk somewhere. Oh, I guess true orthodoxy is right now. H. Brazzi, $5. Those Muslim AI thumbnails were funny. Yep, thank you. Lumbago, $10. Jay, have you covered anything with William Blackstone? He's an Anglican jurist who said that natural law is synonymous with divine will, and my law jurisprudence class is covering him. I am familiar with Blackstone. I mean, that's Blackstone's law dictionary. I mean, a lot of what's in there is like common law, American English common law. But many of the Anglicans, like Bishop Usher, they were just straight up basically Thomistic in their classical apologetics and their approach to natural law theory. So other than finding them historically interesting, no, I'm not that interested in Anglican natural law jurists and theorists. Hush Tones, $5. At St. Basil's, we have on average 150 people. We have 2 priests now, 3 deacons. It's popping off. Sometimes we get over 200 on feast days. That's great. Yeah, our church tripled as well. We're about to tear out another wall to make more space. Urquhart, $5. I'm glad to see that Elijah Schaefer and Crowder are opening to, I would say they're open to Orthodox. I don't know if they're heading towards it, but they're open. Hope you're having a good week. Do you have any tips for an inquirer? Go watch the video that David Erhanen did and I did about tips for catechumens. That's about 5 or 6 years old. Qual quer serve. What does Gad Barnea, who is a Jewish PhD in biblical history at the University of Haifa, Israel, have to say about his claim the Bible is a product of the Library of Alexandria? You're asking me what does that guy have to say about the claim? I have no idea what some random Jewish professor says. Maybe you mean what do I think about it? I don't think that's true. A lot of people don't know that the way academia works is that they think that people go there with the noble pursuit of truth. Professors go to create theories and sell their theories as novel for their dissertations. People are not going into academia for the most part in a fearless search for truth. That's what normies think academia is. Father Deacon, would you agree with that? I mean, it's like...
When you let me on, it cut you out. You said normies think academia, and then it went out.
Normies think that academia is people go there in a noble pursuit of truth, and I'm saying, no, it's actually people coming up with novel interpretations of events to, like how to show that, trans queer activism in Shakespearean dialogues.
Yep. And it's all Overton when it's all paid for and funded of what you can research and what you can talk about. And, right now it's all the gender studies, queer stuff.
Yeah,
and,
right.
But I have a feeling that's going away.
Right.
I mean, it can't last forever. I mean, just think that.
Just
They'll
White.
come up with a new thing.
Go ahead.
They'll come up with a new thing. So even if the gender stuff goes out of fad, they'll just come up with I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, here's a clip of the new indigenous Amazonian Pachamama rite of the Roman Catholic Church, and here's Pope Leo initiating the ritual here. He's reaching down. This is the Sacred Heart worship right here, the Roman Catholic Church. Here's a video of the Vatican. You can see kind of the whole panorama in there in St. Peter's Cathedral. This is the traditional Hindi Amazonian rite mass that has just been commissioned. That's the catacombs there underneath the Vatican, if you're not familiar with this. And here's another image of the ritual, Sacred Heart. And where's the Black Sleep of Kali? You don't do the Eucharist anymore. They do the Black Sleep of Kali. Does nobody know what I'm talking about? Nobody's seen Temple of Doom?
Yeah. I made a joke in catechesis class last year about Sacred Heart, and I'm like, Kali Ma.
Right. Here's
that vibe, right?
Yeah, here's Indy. He's tripping out after he drank the black goo of Kali Ma. And then he's mind controlled, and he's like, Kali Ma protects us. We are her children.